Time for the Disney List. Taking a look at some of the best and maybe not so great things across Disney parks. The Disney List today, all about making the most of spring 2023 at the Disneyland Resort. We are alongside Tyler Crouch, our theme park analyst, Katrina Manzoni, our travel agent, to discuss the things that they would do, maybe suggest, maybe encourage you to think about to make the most out of your spring break this year at Disneyland. And Tyler, what things would you suggest to someone in order to make their spring break truly awesome at Disneyland this year?
I think I got a couple that'll help you out a little bit here.
All
hopefully.
right.
I think my number one, and this is not something everybody can do, and I appreciate that, and I understand that. I think, pardon me, I think having a little hotel room at the Disneyland Resort, spending a day at the pool, I think that is a killer way to do spring break because you're still at the Disneyland Resort. You can go grab some food around Disney downtown. I almost said Disney Springs. You can go downtown Disney and get some food over there so you can still enjoy kind of the Disney vibes. And then you'll kind of avoid some of the crowd because we all know Disneyland is incredibly crowded during spring break. So, it's a nice relaxing time to just hang out at the pool. I think it's going to start to get a little bit warmer. We might have a couple more days of rain, but it's coming. The heat is coming, and the pool is beautiful at both resorts, or at both hotels. There is no pool at Paradise Pier right now, but you can still go over and use Disneyland Hotel's pool, which I love going to Disneyland Hotel pool because you get Trader Sam's. You go, and they bring it to your seat. I mean, you're like just lounging by the pool all day, having a great day, and all of a sudden you get a little zombie delivered to you, and you're like, let's go. And some green beans, some fried little green beans. Let's do it.
Luxury.
That's how it goes. And then I say, wife, please put some in my mouth.
And I go, you have two hands. You can do it yourself.
And I go, okay.
Like a good wife, do it yourself.
So my second one is, speaking of the crowds, like I just mentioned, I know, again, not everybody feels like they want to do this and spring for this sort of thing. But if you can, take advantage of the lightning lane. I really think, it's going to be so crowded and you're going to be miserable if you don't do this, I think, because if you're spending, I think about, I talked about with Florida before too, like sometimes I think, and it sounds a little crazy, I know, but sometimes I think spending a little bit of extra money actually kind of saves you money in the end, if that makes any sense, because you're already spending hundreds of dollars to be at Disneyland and just, put a little bit more in, and then you'll be able to experience so many more things. Because if you're just spending the money on Disneyland and not even being able to go on that many rides, what's the point of the ticket? What's the point of the money you just spent? So
how much is your time worth, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is
So
your time valuable to you? How much are you willing to spend on your time?
Yeah.
Certainly, those things used to be free, and we're not arguing the merits, right, of whether or not it's right to have these things, but it's more so about if you want to make the most and you want to experience everything you can, Lightning Lane might be worth it.
And to give Disney credit, as I've said on this show in the past, they were the last people to charge for this type of access, I feel like. And granted, Lightning Lane isn't always perfect. We've seen we were at California Adventure the other day, last weekend. There was a huge Lightning Lane line for Soarin' over California. It's Soarin' over California right now. Or it was last weekend anyway.
Was it?
It was last weekend. But anyway,
it's back.
It was a long line, but think about the fact that everybody in that line needs to go through before you do if you're in the standard queue. So it's still going to save you time overall. That's something to keep in mind.
Amen. Love hearing that, and thank you for your tips. Katrina, will slide it on over to you. Some of the things that you would encourage folks to think about or maybe actively participate in to get the most out of their Disneyland Resort spring break experience.
Yes. I will say the idea for the pool thing is a really good idea because if you're spending, let's say $100 per person per day for a park, I mean, that's for a family of 4. That's like $400 that you could save and then just put towards a hotel room for like one night, and then just, because I mean, yes, given the hotels on the property are pretty expensive, but then if you think about it, if like you're saving like $400 on that day, you can just put it towards like your hotel room for that one given day and just do a pool day. Anyway, besides that, so let's talk about my ideas. So I will say one of them was Genie Plus, is to utilize and buy Genie Plus for the day and actually do Lightning Lane on the items that you could pay extra on to get in front of. Like, I will say the Mickey's Runaway Railway it's really great to bypass the queue, but honestly, the queue is actually really legit and it's really, really fun.
Yeah, it's worth seeing.
It's so worth seeing, because if you do Lightning Lane, you only get to see the posters of what you could actually physically see on the other side. But if your time is money, again, do Lightning Lane, and then when you have time to kill or whatever, you could just go and actually go through the queue for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So I will tell you, I'll warn you on that one. But other than that, time is money. So I would highly, highly advise to try to do Genie Plus if you can, and pay extra for Lightning Lane just to kind of speed up the process for the day. So then you can sit and stand and watch Magic Happens, because that is a fantastic show. I'm really glad I got to watch it. Except for Maui, because really
Yeah, Maui.
Maui's ridiculous. But other than that, it's so cute.
I'm going to say, now that you both have had the opportunity to see Magic Happens, that parade that shut down years ago, right as sort of the pandemic took off and Disney Park shut down, and we haven't seen it up until just recently it came back. Any ideas as to where to wait for that parade? Best angles, best spots that you go out of your way for?
I mean, when we did it the last time we saw Magic Happens, we were really lucky because there was kind of by, where were we?
We were right in front of Storybook Canal.
Yeah, by Storybook Canal.
Okay.
Like literally right in front. And it was actually a pretty good area because the sun wasn't blasting in our faces like the other side where the little hat shop is, and by Matterhorn, everybody was getting blasted
La
by
Petite
sun.
Chalet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
That's
believe
right.
you're correct. Yeah.
And then, so we were on the other side with the shadows, so it was actually really nice to see. But I think like anything that where they're coming,
Yeah, when they're coming
you.
at you, like if you're in the Main Street hub, I think that's a good spot. Even at the very beginning of the parade, if you're over by Small World, well, the beginning for one of the parades, then I believe it comes from Main Street on the other time. But being there at right in front of Small World when it's the early show, that is a great place to see it. I think even like they kind of have the I don't want to call them like a high rise, but they have a, over by Small World, there's a second level. That's another great place to see it.
The risers.
The risers, yes, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, those are some good spots. It was a great, I love that parade.
Man, that Cocoa float was so adorable.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my gosh, it's so cute. And then the Moana one and little Hey Hey running around. Everything is so great. It was just so good, and the song's really good, except for Maui. It's just the whole.
Yeah, he's
That
a bit
just
of a
made me
block.
bust up.
We just laughed, guys.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot. It's been a couple years too, and
he's so muscular. He
Yeah,
can only move so much, you
and
know.
as he would say, you're welcome. When it comes to that parade, by chance, have you been able to see it at night? Certainly with the daylight savings time now going into effect, I think
That's
the
true.
opportunity to see the nighttime
gone.
version of that parade is gone.
Yeah.
But it was so good at night.
I bet it was really good at night.
That parade needs to be seen at night. It needed to be a
Dang
night
it.
parade. Yeah. It's
No,
pretty
we
cool.
got to see the first showing, and then that was it because we were like running around and stuff. But we'll have to do it again next
Hopefully
time.
next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It'll be
Very
around.
good.
It's going to be around for
It
a
will,
while.
yeah. It's only gotten started. And
Yeah.
Katrina,
Oh,
what
yeah,
else
my
was on
second.
your list? Yeah.
So my second one is mobile order. It's just so easy. Time is money, like we all say, you know. And I would say mobile order because it's just so much easier than waiting in line for food. So if you have an idea when you're hungry, just mobile order it ahead of time. Especially if you want those birria tacos. Woo, they're so good. Those times I was noticing last weekend, I tried like 4 times because I was like, I'm going to get birria tacos. It was like last weekend or the weekend before. And within I was about an hour before, I was like, okay, I'm going to order them. They were already an hour out.
Oh.
And I was like, oh God, I don't know if I could wait that long. And then I was like, okay, maybe. So I waited like 15 minutes when I was like thinking about it. And then I was like another hour and a half. So I was like, okay, so really you gotta, if you think about if you want those birria tacos, you just, in the morning, pick a time, order it.
Great advice.
Show up at whatever, noon, 12:30, and get your lunch, because
Absolutely.
that line is long. when you just do it in the register.
Sure.
It is weaving back and forth, especially on the weekends. Just save your time, pre-order everything, mobile order if you need to get a drink, and head over to DCA, mobile order at Disneyland, and then walk on over and go get it.
Excellent advice.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, I always go out of my way to plan out what it is that I would like come lunchtime, and then the moment I arrive at the park in the morning, I find that time slot, I book it and say, I'll show up then for my lunch, because I know, just like you said, the closer you get to that hour, nine
gone.
times out of 10, it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
And you don't want to wait in that line. It's like miserable.
again, your time is valuable.
Time is valuable, people. Use your
Maximize it.
phone, bring a battery, because you're going to be using it a lot.
It's the way the theme parks work now. Well, I appreciate you both sharing your thoughts as to how to make the most of the Disneyland Resort for Spring Break 2023. What sort of tips do you have? What sort of tips do you follow? We'd love to hear from you. Throw them in the comments.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.